Man, he finally got you one. This 1968 F100.
You're gonna take a truck that's already restored, already looks good, cut it up, make it better.
That's it. Y'all ready to make some grandpas mad?
Let's do it.
This 1975 Bronco has a classic design.
It's been through 2 ex-wives and still got to keep hold on it.
Oh, yeah? This makeshift roof isn't gonna cut it.
Man, that's the downfall of custom. It has never stopped.
Always something to do.
Always.
Oh, my God, Bill.
Is that low enough or what?
Dude.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
We're getting busier and busier. We got a lot of cars in here, and we need more room to bring in more cars. That's exactly what we're doing. Need more room? We're gonna make more room. The way this business has been built, you know, started out doing a little trade job here and there, got a little more concrete, built the awning, ended up enclosing it, and now we're about, 22,000 square feet. That's not enough. So we're putting down some new concrete in front of the interior shop. Eventually, we'll cover this thing up and fill it full of lifts. Thank God I got customers like Marcos, got a huge concrete company. We're doing a little work for him, doing a little work for us, do a little trade, little barter deal. Here we are expanding. It's one of those win-win deals. We get to expand and we get to work on Marcos's next project.
That thing is bad.
From the first project Marcos brought in, years and years ago until the latest.
Golly. I don't even know what to say, brother.
This guy, not only a good customer, but he became a really good friend of mine. And, what better to work on, the latest and greatest project for a good friend of yours. What's up, man?
What's up, Bill?
He finally got you one.
I told you I was gonna get one.
Marco's been talking about old Ford for quite some time. It looks like he finally found the perfect one for him. This 1968 was the 4th generation of this F100. Older ones had a more rounded hood, but as you can see, this hood's squared off. It's really hard to find one of these trucks that's as good a shape as this.
It looks all right, but not good enough for me.
It's perfect, but it's not perfect for you.
Exactly. Everyone, they can have a classic truck, but not a classic custom, because a lot of people, they don't like to, cut into a nice, classic-looking truck like that. It's gonna be an easy project for you.
Oh, here we go. Let me guess, under the hood, there's not enough power.
Nope.
Not low enough.
Nope.
Don't have the right wheels and tires.
Nope.
How'd I know this already?
You already know it. It's just too classic.
Because we built Marcos a project about, once a year, I already know what this thing's gonna look like before he even talks about it. I think 24 by 8's on the front, 24 by 15's on the back. Get this thing really low down to the ground.
Really low on the ground.
See what you got on the hood of this thing. Oh, Marcos, you got you a V8 underneath here already.
It's a V8.
Back in 1968 when this thing was new, it was probably plenty of power.
Back then.
But now, no, this ain't gonna cut it, especially for you.
Yeah.
Man, I think the best thing to do is just rip all this out. Instead of trying to upgrade this to give you more power, let's just rip this thing out, put a late model Coyote in this thing.
Right.
And then we'll put a supercharger on top of that also.
I like that. I like that.
So you got, not only enough power, you got abundance of power then.
Ooh, I like that.
Well, let's see what you got in the interior.
All right. What do you think?
It's a good looking truck, man. It's solid.
It's clean, but I still want you to make them different.
Just wake it up a little bit. Still keep that classic look and just add a couple little custom touches.
Right.
New gauges in this thing.
Right.
Man, I love the 2 colors. I love the green and the brown. They look really good together. Get rid of the white on the door panel, make a custom door panel,
right.
Brown leather, to really make it have that custom look.
And don't forget about my AC.
Oh, no.
I need AC on this thing.
I know you got to ride cool in this thing for sure.
So what do you think on the bed?
You know, to get the stance right on this thing with such a big wheel and tire combo, it's going to be low to the ground. So in order to do that, we're going to have to remake the fender wells in the back of this come up a lot higher, and of course with those wide tires, a lot wider. The differential is going to come up a lot higher, so we'll have to raise this bed floor up so you don't see a big hole in there.
Right.
Still have that classiness with the custom look.
I told you I was gonna make it easier on you on the next one.
Yeah, it's way easier, right? You know, no matter what it is, it isn't fast enough, it isn't big enough, low enough. He has to have just such over-the-top vehicles, you know, to fit in with all the rest of his cars. This one's no different.
So I'll come by and pick him up next week.
Yeah, right. Come on. We'll see you soon, though. Marcos is back again. Longtime customer, has become a really good friend of mine. And, you know, the old saying, good ain't good enough, that's definitely the case with Marcos, because this truck is a lot of people's dream just the way it is. This 68 Ford, it's already been to a restoration shop. I mean, somebody's already gone through this thing and put it back pretty much factory and original, which is great for us getting it in this shape. We only got to make it cool now. We don't have to go back and fix rust, you know, make panels line up. We're not concerned with that at all. We're just gonna make this thing have the right stance, the right engine, and the right wheels and tires. Marcos is a car connoisseur. Good ain't good enough for him. He wants this thing immaculate. Something cool, unique going down the road. We're gonna take this 68 Ford and just make it a rolling piece of cool art driving down the road.
I saw Marcos pull up there today in this thing.
You wouldn't think Marcos pull up in this, huh? Pretty much a perfect truck, right?
This is a really nice truck.
Real nice.
So true Marcos fashion. You're gonna take a truck that's already restored, already looks good, already runs and drives, he wants to cut it up, make it better.
That's it. This thing doesn't ride good, doesn't drive good. You know, it's got a nice V8 in this thing, but ain't no way.
Yeah.
We put a brand new Coyote in this thing, over 400 horsepower, just the engine. But then we're gonna put a supercharger on it too. You know that's what he's gotta have.
So Marcos wants to go fast.
Right.
No.
You know, we're gonna make a brand new chassis, bumper to bumper, all out of rectangle tubing. So it's gonna be super rigid. This thing go through the corners, you know, like a race car.
Just getting rid of that front suspension is gonna be a huge factor on this truck. That's a
Yeah.
ride.
This thing's scary to drive at 80 miles an hour. You know, as far as the interior, it looks nice. It has that classic look, which he wants to keep, but just a couple of custom touches all throughout. I love the brown and green together, so we're gonna keep that color inside, but we're gonna recover the seat, add custom door panels and new carpet in it. You know, of course, Texas, you gotta have the AC in it too.
Yep.
And to give room for those big 24s that are on the back of these things, we're gonna have to build big, tall wheel tubs and wide wheel tubs. So what we're gonna do is raise the bed floor up and put some nice wood in it, stain it so it matches the interior.
Man, this is gonna be like the grandpa that bought the truck brand new and took care of it all of his life and gave it to the grandson as a gift. And the next time the grandson comes to the house, it's laid out on the ground, big wheels, motor, all obnoxious.
That reminds me of me when I was 16. When my dad gave me a good looking, perfect truck, an 83 Chevy N86, and I just tore it up.
Oh, no.
So he was mad at me. He's
bet.
still looking down mad at me on now. Y'all ready to make some grandpas mad?
Let's do
Let's
it.
do it. Ready?
First things first, this is what I want to do is unbolt the cab and front end and pick it up off the chassis and just roll it completely out. We're not going to use any of that at all.
I just can't believe it's the last time it's gonna be together. It being this nice. Man. There we go.
Let's take the bed off.
Come on, that Max, heavy give us a part. hand.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We take the bolt out?
Oh, I see what it is. That's good, Tim. All right, so the bed was stuck on basically because someone decided it'd be a good idea to weld the exhaust hanger to the bed structure. So when you're fabricating like an exhaust, you definitely don't want to put the hanger on the body. You want to go off the frames, because if you ever need to pull the bed, you'd have to cut the exhaust. But first cut, got that out the way. Let's get the bed off.
Going down.
1,
Ready?
2, 3.
Yeah, go down.
Oh, all right. How clean this is, though, man. Can you appreciate that for a moment? It's not all greasy. It's not all dirty. It's nice. That only took 10 minutes to destroy a classic truck.
Your grandpa gonna be mad.
Grandpa would be mad. It is what it is. On to the new life.
You know, other people's custom might look good from the top, but underneath, we got porcupine. In this case, you know, you just have sheet metal screws running down through the bed, holding the wood down. It might look good from the top, but it's dangerous underneath this thing. Building a nice car isn't just, you know, what's on the outside. It's what's on the inside, what's underneath. You know, was feeling really bad about, you know, Marcos's truck looking really clean, really nice, really original, but that is definitely not the case.
We're gonna add a 5.0 Coyote to the 68 Ford Ranger. So we're gonna build a custom chassis rigid enough to handle all that extra power.
You know, in any project, you gotta have this perfect platform. And that's exactly what we're doing, building the chassis for this thing. You know, this is gonna be a major improvement for this old truck. The older chassis have a lot of flex and play, which, you know, adds to the longevity of the truck. This one isn't gonna do that. We're going just total performance and ride quality on this. We're not worried about if the truck's gonna work fine on the ranch 50 years from now. Not a concern. The very back where the bed is gonna mount, we're gonna have 8 inches. So it's a really weird shape. Man, if we're gonna raise the floor up, might not do it like that. You know, normally when we build the frame, we build the frame back up over the axle and then back down to the bed floor. But in this case, we're gonna raise the whole bed floor. So it kind of looks weird if we build the frame up and around and back down. We're gonna have to build super tall bed mounts to come up and catch the bed. That's something we don't want. So a more custom look would just be the frame coming back, going up over the axle, and then straight back. It's just gonna give us a lot more room underneath here, a lot more room for the fuel cell, suspension, all the air components, and give that bed a real custom look.
Now that Bill's figured out the way he wants to build this frame, it's time to start cutting it up. Basically, what we're gonna do is make this 2x4 frame continue up at a 45-degree angle into the 2x3 frame. Then the bed will sit right on top of this. Thing about this frame, it's gonna have a big motor with a supercharger. It's got big wheels in the back. By doing this, we're gonna lose a little bit of depth in the bed, but we'll have more room for the big fuel cell and a lot more rigid frame that'll support all the power we're gonna put to those big wheels. Now we're gonna come on the bottom side. We're gonna use these tubes to brace the bottom. Hanging out that far, you kind of like a cantilever. And it'll kind of be trying to do this stuff when you put pressure. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put some tubing here and go up into the frame. It's going to transfer all the weight into this tube here. You're not going to bend that frame. So the key here is form and function. We want to make sure everything works and it looks good. All these braces do something.
What's happening, man?
Not much.
Man, it's a good-looking truck. You know, it's always cool to get two old Fords at the shop at the same time. This 1975 Bronco has a classic design with flat windows and straight lines.
It's been through 2 ex-wives and still got to keep hold on it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but just ain't quite got it finished the way I want it to be. Got my Bronco back in 1990 and just been driving it and changing it up ever since.
You know, it looks done. What are you wanting to do to it?
Well, you know, I got a little issue with the roof. This Texas heat is bad, and you know how it is when you're driving around, going to the beach or going to deer lease.
So you're just riding around and the sun's just beating down on you.
Down.
Man, you got such a good-looking truck, then you get up to the top and you see that vinyl, you know, afterthought. We can definitely improve on that. Is there anything else you want to do this?
I got something else in the back I'd like to show you. It's this gap back here.
Oh, okay.
This doesn't look right to me.
You know what, something that probably look really good, even shortening the frame on this thing and scooting the bumper a lot closer too, and then the whole thing fit a little tighter.
That sounds great.
So what are you thinking inside here?
I need a console, so something more secure. You know,
So
maybe
you're wanting a safe down in the console?
Yeah, if that's possible.
Oh, yeah. That's it?
No, there's one more thing.
Yeah?
I'd like to put a little hood scoop right here on this vent.
And there's a 5.0 in this thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, you definitely need a little more air to that thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's starving right now.
That's cool, yeah. Definitely handle that. You know, this Bronco looks really good. You can tell there's been quite a few things been done to it over the years, but, you know, just like any project, any custom car, there's always something else you can improve on. This good-looking truck is gonna be a great-looking truck.
That's what I like to hear.
Let's go make it happen. You know, it's always nice when a customer keeps an old car alive. This thing's been around and around and around and around. It's been through many different hands, and it's good to see, you know, a customer really appreciate what they have and just, you know, keep adding. You know, that's what's cool about old projects like this, and, you know, an owner that has passion for these types of projects. You know, there's always something else to do to it. You check 10 things off the list, there's always 10 more things that you can do to it to make it even cooler. So now this Bronco's life is in our hands. I'm gonna get a few guys on it to really fab up some cool custom touches. I'm a betting man, so I bet this thing's gonna be back within a year with a whole new list of things to do to make this Bronco even cooler.
What up, fellas?
Oh, what's up?
It's a good-looking Bronco.
Man, it is. It's cool. You know, this guy's had this thing for quite some time, you know, just adding and adding. It's been an ever-evolving project.
Man, that's the downfall of custom. It just never stops. It just keeps going and going and going.
Always something to do.
Always something.
So that's exactly what we're gonna do. He's got a list, and we're gonna start checking those things off and really help him out. One of the things that isn't cool is the roof of this thing, right? This flimsy little makeshift roof isn't gonna cut it.
You do 70, 80 miles an hour down the road, that thing might slap you in the face.
Or fly off and slap somebody else behind you in the face. So, want to take this thing off and build, you know, a custom roof for this thing. And the other problem is when you go park this thing somewhere, there's no way to lock everything up. So he wants to be able to go into a store and leave whatever in it locked up. Guns, pistols, knives, you know. Whatever, he wants to be able to lock it up. So we need lockable storage for the console. And I don't know if you've seen on the back of this thing, it's got a big gap in between the bumper and the body. It doesn't look right. It's definitely not custom.
You know.
So we're gonna cut the back of the frame off and suck that bumper away in and make it look good.
Make it look right.
You know, one more thing you want, just that one last thing you wanted, is a custom air intake on the hood. You know, something to grab that air and force it down into the engine.
More air, more power.
That's it.
That's it. It's never just one more thing.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh, he's definitely gonna be back with another list for sure.
You know, after years in the Texas sun, we're gonna get rid of that old vinyl roof. We're gonna replace that with a whole new custom aluminum one.
What we've done so far is we've established the straight lines of where we're going to start breaking everything. We'll take these measurements, transform to the aluminum, mark out where everything needs to be, where the brakes need to be, and then we're going to start cutting.
Now we got our whole panel cut out. So what I'm gonna do is just notch out the corners where we don't need. We're gonna take this over to the brake, bend those down 90 degrees, and then we could start forming our edges.
So now we have this up here where it kind of needs to be. We're gonna make a front piece and a back piece.
Now we got this shape how we need it to fit the windshield and the roof. I'm gonna clamp this to the front of our roof, tack weld it. Now I got this stitched up to the roof. Now we can make our corners. Man, this aluminum roof is gonna be a whole lot nicer than that rag top he had. You wanna have none of that wind noise with it flapping while you're driving down the highway or even out trail riding. And with that full top, it's gonna come in real handy in these Texas summers. Keep the whole interior of this truck in the shade at all times. Style and comfort, what more would you want?
The owner put a late model 5.0 in this 75 Bronco. Tim and John are gonna make a custom air scoop to force that air right into the engine and look cool.
Little something like that, probably. Now, the purpose of making this out of chipboard and bending it the way I did is now I could lay this out flat on a piece of aluminum, cut it just like this, all out of one piece. These reference lines I got drawn out here, put this in the brake, bend it up about 60 degrees, and then flip it over, and I should get the desired look I'm looking for, just like on the template. It looks good, but I think I need to adjust it where the top of it looks even with the windshield.
Yeah, you got the windshield lines going straight, 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 and the hinge is straight. That's
So if I make this side taller than that side,
half inch.
it will make the top of that even with the windshield hinge.
Think you can get that done in the next 5 minutes?
Sure. That's just one of those deals when you make something custom, you want it to look right. So we'll go trace this out on another piece and bend it the right way. You know, I didn't have to do this. It looked pretty good the way it was, but I'd really prefer it to look right instead of looking like it was droopy on one side of the truck. What's the extra little 10 minutes just to remake it a little bit taller and make it look right? That's what it takes to do the job right, Bo. Just do it. How's that look, buddy?
That should do it.
Now you can see with a little extra time, now it all looks straight, matches the windshield real good. Now it's just time to weld the backside.
We're finishing up on the custom chassis and suspension on the 68 Ford Ranger. While we're doing that, John's getting going on the interior.
You know, the first thing that I saw when I walked up to this truck and I opened up the door and I looked inside was the instrument cluster. You know, that was something that stood out to me. Something about it, you know, the way they were set back and had the bar going across the middle of it. I'm gonna take that idea and just kind of incorporate those lines and style cues into this door panel.
You know, even the smallest of jobs take every bit of concentration and detail that we put into the big jobs. It's nice to sit back every now and then, take a deep breath and relax and make something like this.
Then we have our center bar. We'll have this separate from the door panel, so when this is all wrapped,
We'll have all these lines still there instead of just one big blob. We'll make this trim ring removable and wrap it separately. That way it continues the lines that we're trying to keep in the door. So now we just take a little bit of body filler here. All right. So this is the factory door panel off the F100. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my insert, get this thing mudded up, get it molded in, get it looking real good. Well, you know, we kept it nice and simple, so everything will have one nice cohesive flow. Now that I'm done with this, we'll have to wrap up the kick panels.
I gotta start using words like cohesive. Man, I like that word.
Cohesiveness?
Man, I like that.
You know, when you get bored and you want to read something, dictionary is where it's at.
The back half of the chassis is mocked up with the correct wheelbase. So I asked John to connect the front to the back.
I got the cross member in, got the height of the cross member correct where we need it at. Now we can start building the rest of the frame. This engine is so wide, I have to make sure I get the frame rails on the cross member wide enough for that engine to fit in there. I'll take the measurements off the frame, put them on the table, calculate what I need on this, and I'll take what I built on the table and put it on the frame. The cross member side is 3 inches tall, the frame side is 4 inches tall. So what I'm gonna do is slice this down on one end and make it taper. And that's gonna give us a 4-inch by 3-inch tapered tubing. So now with that slice we took out of there, all we gotta do is get one of these, tamp it down, we can weld that back out. Now we got a taper. There you go. 4-inch going down to 3-inch. Now we can fit this in the truck. Now we got these pieces connected to the back half of the frame. We could continue on to the front core support mount. Oh no. Got a little damage on this front end here. This whole passenger side of the truck is pulled forward. This part should be touching this part. Look at the size of that gap. They did a repair to try to get this connected back to this, but they didn't pull it back to connect it. They just filled it in there. So I'm gonna have to cut out this repair off that they did to close that gap up. All right, let's see if we can get this cut out.
Wouldn't you know it, John found some damage on the front end of the 68 Ford Ranger.
You know, whoever repaired this kind of had it figured out, but didn't put it back where it needed to be. We're about 3/4 of an inch off. This side's longer than that side. It has to be straight. So what I did is I hooked me a ratchet strap and I pulled it till we got this to touch. Now I pulled a measurement from the end of the frame to here and we're right on the money. Now we could connect from here to there, tack it all in place. You ever working on a car, make sure you do it 100% because you never know what the next guy will find. There you have it. We got a complete frame, front to back. Now we're ready to put big engine with a lot of horsepower and some big fat tires on the back for some traction.
It's gonna be a fun one.
The owner, Dave, come with the list for a 75 Bronco, and we've been checking them off. We upgraded the stereo with modern marine-grade speakers to hold up in any weather. We cut the back of the frame and scooted the bumper a little more forward.
This Bronco is really limited on space. So we got this cool little safe here. Keep your wallet, sunglasses, maybe gun.
You know, we've modified a ton of things to this Bronco, and it was totally worth it. I mean, looking at it now from the way it was before, the thing looks good. But wait, one more thing, Bronco, is finally done. Today's the day we're gonna give it back. You know, I'm pretty sure he's gonna customize this truck for the rest of his life, but once he sees this thing, I know he's gonna be blown away. What up, man?
Not much, man. How's it going, Bill?
Man, real good. Good to see you today. Good day for you?
Oh, man, it's a fantastic day.
You know, you came into the shop, you had a couple of ideas, and, you know, the list just got longer and longer and longer, and here we are. You ready to see all these check marks?
I sure am, Bill.
Let's check it out. Adrian, bring it on in.
Wow.
Looks cool, huh?
That looks fantastic. Man, look at that top. When that car came over the hill, man, I seen that top. It's a one-of-a-kind. No Bronco's gonna have a roof like mine. Look at the scoop. That was a check off the list.
Right?
Wow. Look at those speakers, man. I can't wait to get in there and drive. Giddy up, let's go. This is exciting. Man.
Adrian,
Wow.
what's up, man?
What's up?
What's up?
How's it going?
You know, Adrian's new to the shop. He's been watching this thing being built, and, you know, he's a Bronco enthusiast. He just had to come down and drive this thing.
It's nothing like a Ford Bronco, is it?
Yeah, man, Broncos have always been my favorite.
Can't wait to get in it and drive it myself.
One of the first things you see when this thing's coming down the hill at you is that little air scoop, right? Grabs that air and forces it down into the engine. Not only does its job, it lets people know you got something a little more than factory under the hood, right?
Exactly. Gives it that room.
The next issue you have was that old half roof you had, it didn't look real cool.
Didn't look cool at all, but that looks like over the top, man. And the way you mounted the light, it all matches, it all comes together perfect.
Lets everybody know you got something cool and custom going on there. You know, from the roof all the way back to the back bumper. That bumper was it's sticking way out back. You know, John and Tim cut the back of the frame off and just sucked that thing all the way in, so it looks like it's supposed to be there now.
It's where it needs to be.
You know, that's the outside, but check out the inside.
Wow, man, you did hit it over the top.
Man, you see new speakers up top. You got your 4 speakers in the back. The old stereo in this definitely wasn't gonna cut it. But now, old Dave can drive down 80, 90 miles an hour and not have to worry about that wind noise. You can definitely hear this. And you finally got a place to put your gloves, too.
All right.
Lockable glove box, gun safe, lockable console. You know, your wife can put anything in there. You can put anything in the console and not have to worry about it.
Everything I'm seeing right now is just absolutely perfect. The roof, the lighting, the sound system. I can't wait to get on the road just to show it off. Man, it's fantastic. I could say she's truly completed now, but there's always another list.
You were just about to say that? No, I don't believe you. But as of right now, it's good.
I'm totally satisfied, Bill. You hit it right over the top.
Oh yeah, this is definitely not factory. This is why you can see all the screws underneath the bed. They're entirely way too long.
We're putting huge 24 by 15-inch wheels on the back of this 68 Ford Ranger. So Hugo's taking out the old bed floor. We're gonna create an all-new one with huge wheel tubs.
All right, so we got the bed on the truck. Marcos wanted a flat wood floor. So we built the substructure. The wood's gonna sit right on top of this. Next thing we're gonna do is put the bed sides on here. Then we'll be able to come in and put the wheel tubs, everything else through the middle of it.
Because it's a really big 24 by 15-inch wheel we're using on the 68 Ford Ranger, Tim and John are adding some custom wheel tubs and adding more support to the bed.
Basically, what we're doing right now is making sure the side's straight because it's sheet metal. And where the inside of this bed is factory, it could be like this. I mean, it's 1968. So right now, we're taking a little extra precaution to make sure that when we weld it, it should stay straight.
Once we get all these tacked in place, we can start fitting our tubs in. What I'm doing here is measuring from the center line of the axle out 15.5 inches that way, 15.5 inches that way. Now I line that up there, and then that's our cut line.
in the back, we're running a 24 by 15 inch wide. So to make that, we gotta make a tub that goes over a 24 by 15 inch wide tire. I'm gonna take a piece of chipboard and make me a template. Now we're gonna transfer this template to the sheet metal, roll it, put it on the tub. So what we wanna do is make this tub look like it's one piece, like it was never welded together. I'll jump around, tag it, and then grind it down. It'll look like one tub and it was never cut in half. Now you can start to see how big this tire is gonna be. Look, this is a tire, this is a tire. Then we start the long task of welding everything in, which is gonna take a while.
The guys did a good job making the wheel tubs on this 68 Ford Ranger. Lewis is gonna add the color match wood right into the bed.
So this wood is hardwood, it's ash. It's a really good stain grade wood to work with. And we're doing stain work. We want to make sure that the substrate is very consistent, so sanding is going to play a very important part. We want to make sure that we keep a nice, even pressure and consistent speed. All right, so now we're going to get this stain mixed up. We're going to use basically primary colors to match this leather that we have picked out for the truck. I actually make my own stains. You know, I eyeball everything. Some people might do this on a scale, but my grandfather's taught me since I was a young kid. We just start with our primary colors and kind of adjust from there. So as you can tell, we're starting to get to that orangish color that we're looking for. I'm gonna darken it up, throw a little bit of brown in it, see how close we can get to that leather. All right, let's see where we're at. I think we're close. Okay, I think we're close enough now to where we can actually go ahead and start spraying it, and I can make my adjustments in the actual booth. We're a little light right now, so the beauty of this is we can keep going over it until we get a lot closer to this leather color that we're looking for. Man, this is gonna look badass on the truck. Hope Marcos likes it.
The hand-built chassis for the 68 Ford Ranger is back from powder. So now Tim and John are gonna put it together, make this thing a rolling chassis.
Want to chunk the engine on there first? That way I know how to run lines from there.
Let's roll.
All right, go up, go up.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the amount of work when you build these new chassis, but the metal work's the easy part. Putting it flat on the ground like we're doing, you're limited in the amount of room, because steel to go in here, we have to put a bunch of brake lines, fuel lines, wiring harness, and a drive shaft. Everything's crucial. I mean, the exhaust is gonna take up a huge part of this, so you can't get enough stuff close to the exhaust, it's gonna get hot. You kinda gotta pick your poison and pick out where you're gonna put what first. And over time, we've just learned, you know, placement of this or placement of that's worked best for us. So it was just all about space.
Looking good, Timmy.
Definitely looks different when it came in, huh?
You guys are kicking ass on it for sure. Man, all the lines, everything looked real good. I mean, the air line, the fuel line, it looks real good. Man, I love this wrinkle copper, especially with the contrast with the green. You know, I've never seen those two colors before.
Man, if you're happy with it, I'm ready to put it down.
Man, let's do this.
The guys did a good job making the wheel tubs on this 68 Ford Ranger. It'll give us enough room to tuck those 24 by 15s. So now Edgar's doing the body and paint, so this thing will look like it rolled out of the factory.
Enable for me to match that base coat, I will have to throw a sealer that's dark gray to give it that tone. So once that's done, let it dry, come back, then shoot the base, and hopefully it will give me the right exact tone and everything how I want to see it. I'm going over the whole entire bed
I'm looking for any minor imperfections or any little detail that's pinholes, trash, a chemical reaction, or anything that might damage my paint. See, this is what I mean. We had a chemical reaction right here. The paint kind of wrinkled up on me. This is the kind of things that people have to pay attention to, because once you're clearing, there's no way going back. Now I have to wet sand it, smooth it out, make sure it's there no more. And if I have to, add some more base to it. Now it looks good. Next step, get onto the clear. So now it's time to see if this blend worked out. Oh, man. I'm loving the color. Perfect match. I'm good with it.
You know, it's not every day we take a 68 Ford Ranger that's almost in perfect condition and make it even better. Marcos has been busy. He's been building a garage for his cars. So he invited me over to come check it out. So I got a little garage warming gift for him.
Coming in. What you think, Bill?
Dude. This is a hell of a garage, Marcos. Marcos invites me into car paradise. This is every car guy's dream right here. One of the first things you do, you go down Lamborghini aisle. You got the McLaren, you got the Ferrari aisle. Man. You know, leave it to Marcos to build a house for his cars, you know, right next to his house. This is cool. This is just amazing.
This is phase 1. I'm doing phase 2. We're gonna add on that side.
Well, you know what? I got something that might fit really, really good.
What you got? You got a chair, you got a bar stool, floor mat?
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, my God, Bill.
You know, coming outside and seeing that F100 for the first time.
You know, that thing looks sick.
Right? You just can't go anywhere and buy one of these. He knows this is especially built for him.
Oh, my.
Is that low enough or what?
Dude. That thing is on the ground, dude.
Cool.
Oh, my God, look at that motor, dude.
Late model 5.0 Coyote, supercharged. You're pushing about 750, 800 horsepower right now.
750, 100 horsepower on this thing, Bill? Wow.
It started out being a nice truck, right? It looked
Yeah, it was
almost
clean.
new.
Right.
But your bar is set really, really high. And we got to come through every time. Old motor, old trans, old rear end, old everything rolled right out the shop. Totally started over. We started out building a new chassis, front to back, all new suspension. Every part of this thing underneath is all handmade. Big 24x9s in the front, 24x15s in the rear.
Nice.
2 big, wide black marks wherever you go.
That's what I like. I like the black mark.
Marcos, you pop that hood, you see that wrinkled copper powder coat. It just ties everything in together.
You know, it's all about the little details. They make customs, I mean, different from anybody else.
That's it, man. Check out this interior, man.
Holy crap.
John and the guys really got down and, you know, built the kick panels.
I see
wool
them,
carpet
looks good.
in there.
Oh my God, look at the carpet.
Right? It looks good, just ties everything together. Freshened up these door panels, just brought in a little custom
right.
to it. Still has that vintage feel, but it looks custom.
I mean, the carpet, it was like, guys, you can see some of these cars that I got right here on my main cave. I don't even got the details that I got on this thing.
What do you think back here, Marcos?
Oh, look at how wide these things are, dude.
This isn't just for looks either, Marcos. The wheel and tire itself is 16 inches.
Wow.
And to get this all the way on the ground, the wheel tubs come up that far. There's no exaggeration here. This is what you have to get this thing all the way on the ground.
It looks so smooth, so clean, like a piece of glass, like a piece of art.
Right? The wood that was in here, there was no saving that. We had to come in, put brand new wood. Still gives it that classic feel,
Right.
But you know that is nothing but custom.
It's amazing what you guys done on this thing, dude. I really appreciate that. The best thing about all this is that you know that it's all handmade. Every single detail that they did on this truck, I mean, it basically fits with that intention that it can make this thing one of the kinds.
You say you want a cool truck.
Oh, man. This is it. I mean, that's exactly what I had on mine when I brought him to you, and basically you made my dream come through. I got really, really special place on my garage for this thing.
Glad you like it, man. You know, I gotta think every guy comes into work and busts their ass every day on Sunny Drive, makes things happen just like this truck right here, and I can't thank them enough.